you are not getting a lot of positive affirmation. Thank you so much for being a therapist. Thank you so much for studying for the clinical. Thank you so much for working as hard as you do. It is so appreciated. It is so needed. And don't think for 1 second that you are alone. My name is Lindsay Guichard, and I'm an online licensed marriage and family therapist. Tell me if you've heard this before, but I was on a call with a colleague, and she told me something that if I knew, I didn't remember. And it seems like something that I would have remembered, but it still was shocking when she said it. So I'm thinking I didn't know. But she said that she either read something or was told something by someone that if we don't pass the exam, if we don't pass the clinical exam the first time, our likelihood of passing goes down. When she said that, I was like, really? I don't know why. I don't know why that I had never heard that before. But I will just let you know that I think that is not good. And I don't know how else to characterize that. I don't know where that came from. If someone could leave it in the comments, I would love to debunk that. That is the opposite of what I'm trying to talk with people about. And that is the amazing ability of failing forward. If that statistic is true, then I should not have passed my exam. What a discouraging statistic to read about when you're trying to pass the MFT clinical. That if you don't pass the first time, good luck, you're not gonna pass. Like, where did that come from? I would like to debunk that. So if you are finding that anxiety is winning and you are feeling like you are shaking when you hear the word clinical exam, or you're feeling triggered because of your last experience, I would love for you to connect with me for a free 15-minute connection call. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some things that helped me when I was sitting for the exam. And in the weeks prior, in the months prior, if you did not pass the MFT clinical exam on your first try, you are, my friend, not alone. One of the things that I learned about reaching out to a lot of my colleagues is that many of us are not passing the first time. And there is a lot of shame and guilt that's associated with not passing the first time. What I want to do is I want to normalize that for us. Because one of the things that is very stressful is any sort of information indicating that this exam is going to be harder on us that are having trouble seeing the password. That is not helpful. So if you have read something that says that, whether it's true or not, like whether the data proves it or not, that is not going to be helpful in your journey, in your personal study journey of passing this exam. I would like to talk to you about what is going to be helpful for you. I know from talking to a lot of our colleagues that seeing the password on our MFT clinical exam is all that matters. It is okay for me to never share again with anybody that it took 3 times for me to pass. It is okay. Now, I ended up doing the opposite And I ended up saying, you know what? If I can embrace that this process is not easy and it wasn't easy for me, if I can normalize that for someone who is struggling, that is a worthy cause. And so I don't mind proclaiming that I passed on my 3rd attempt. I didn't pass on my 1st attempt. I didn't pass on my 2nd attempt. I was shocked that I passed on my 3rd attempt because my past attempts were telling me that I was not going to see the password. And so when I hear statistics being thrown at people who are trying their hardest to see the password, I get very passionate about telling you that that is not what we're going to be focusing on. We are not going to be focusing on how many times it's going to take for us to pass this exam. My coach told me this phrase when I took the exam and I didn't pass the 2nd time around, and she just quickly threw out a quote that I use all the time now, and that is, it's not a matter of if we're going to pass, it's a matter of when. And the only thing that we have to focus on is never giving up. So reach out to me for a 15-minute free connection call. And I thank you so much for finding this channel. And thank you so much. This is something that I want to try to say as much as possible, whether we hear it or not, especially in this stage of studying. Maybe we're not getting a lot of positive affirmation. Thank you so much for being a therapist. Thank you so much for studying for the clinical. Thank you so much for working as hard as you do. It is so appreciated. It is so needed. And don't think for 1 second that you are alone. We're in this together, and let's do it. Okay, bye.